Hello and welcome. It's a pleasure for me to be again a speaker here at the OPC Day Japan in 2021. I would love to be on site, believe me, and talk to you in person, but it's best for all of us to meet virtual. So I'd like to give you a short update here, what happened and what's ongoing. I will not read line by line, but I will give you an update on the organization, on the technology, OPCUA, on collaboration news, where I'm happy that also a Japanese organization is included, and an update on the marketing activities. Before we start with the really exciting news, let's give a very short update for those of you who are really new and not familiar with OPC. The OPC Foundation is still growing. We are proud to have more than 850 members, and we are continuing working on the vision to have a secure, reliable framework which allows to exchange information independent from any vendor, from any platform and any market. And this should scale from sensor to enterprise and back. Everything is open, specifications once they are released are open, sample code is open, and we also have a very great certification program which is also open for non-paying OPC Foundation members. Right now, we are at the end of the election process. The board of directors is always democratic elected, and the results have been just published 2 days ago. So I like to congratulate all the board members which you see here, which have been elected for the next 2 years, for the year 22 and 23. I was very proud that this time, first time in OPC Foundation history, we made an electronic voting, and this resulted in higher participation in the election, which makes me really proud. So I like to thank to all members who voted. Let's come to the technology part, and this is split into two parts. In one is the field level communication part, and the other is the OPC for cloud part. As a starter, you know that OPC UA is not a protocol. Instead, we are working on the challenge to transform from the existing automation pyramid to a more information network. Remember that on the left side, the automation pyramid means that you always have to implement different protocols, but also convert information models from a lower level, convert them in a new protocol to move them into the upper layer protocol and upper layer information model. Instead, now what we want to achieve with OPC UA is to define standardized data with our partners, but then be able to move these information from the field level up into the cloud level, vertical, but also horizontal. This is what we exactly do with a lot of other partners, where I will talk in a minute about, but this is one of the most important messages we have to address again and again and again and again. OPC UA is not a protocol, right? So how do we address these challenges? We do the promise of OPC UA as the base for secured industrial interoperability. And this is mostly based on the 3 pillars. I talked already about the interoperability on the left side, but in the middle you see that we are right now having 66 joint working groups for data modeling and harmonization in different areas like the discrete market, process automation, but also energy and others. And obviously, for an international standard, we also need tools to validate and certify everything. And this is available. All the requirements and the processes are described online, but also all the information models are available online in an online reference free of charge. We want to avoid any kind of double standardization. And in easy words, what is OPC UA? Well, it's a huge collection of Lego bricks where each of the Lego bricks have a dedicated purpose for discovery, for connecting, for different protocols like TCP, UDP, MQTT, to describe assets like the robot or the pump or the analyzer devices, what we will learn later. And then you are providing a package of these Lego bricks, and this is what we call a companion specification, describing a specific asset, but also listing which kind of Lego bricks are required for this. And only together, the OPC core Lego bricks as technology components, plus the market specific modeling and description is together guaranteeing the interoperability. But let's come for the new direction. We definitely have to learn about that OPC UA is one harmonized solution, not only for addressing the asset layer in the field or process plants, it is also scaling from field to cloud. And this is what I'm addressing in this presentation more and more. Let's focus on the field first. We started this initiative, field level communication, in the year 2018. And just 3 years later, we have been very proud that the over 350 technical experts from over 65 companies around the world have worked on a harmonized solution where in the first milestone it is addressing horizontal controller-to-controller communication. There's a lot of misunderstanding that this group is only working on TSN. This is one puzzle piece, but we will see that a lot of companies in the first step will exchange information via UDP, via OPC UA PubSub, but also via other technologies like Ethernet APL. So this group is addressing more than just the transport layer, and this is really important to understand. It is also addressing online, offline configuration and how to do interaction between controllers horizontally, but also down to the device. It's really a pleasure for me to notice that these people and these groups have released the specifications part 80 to 83. They are public available for download, and they are working on feedbacks now. During this SPS show in November, which unfortunately also has been cancelled, there was a plan to show 6-meter demo walls with live devices, exactly addressing OPC UA field exchange for controller-to-controller communication, but also one wall for the released OPC UA safety specification. This is a picture I made with all the devices being mounted and ready to work and being on a truck, normally sent down to the SPS show. Now we will do a video of this and you will get multiple more information and details coming up soon. Let's talk about cloud solutions, and here you see 6-meter demo walls about cloud activities, which we also would have shown during the SPS show. And a few of them I will go now and show them in detail. First of all, we are very proud that one of our collaborations with SESMI resulted that the UA for Cloud library has been released and is online available. 66 information models are available and they are really closing the gap of a missing piece. You can really now work on your IT solution without having real connectivity to the asset. Instead, you are downloading the information model from the cloud library and you are able to speed up your engineering process. So congrats to the SESMI partners in cooperation with OPC Foundation under lead of Erich Barnstedt from Microsoft. Another group where we are proud on is on the OPC UA for Industrial Cloud Federation. This has been created to also discuss how can different cloud provider exchange standardized information with each other. And we will hear much more from them in the future. OPC UA over MQTT would have been one of the demo walls at the SPS show. To explain it here a little bit in more detail, and customers definitely want to connect sometimes their industrial assets to the cloud for data analytics, asset management, something like that. And a lot of these gateways or devices support MQTT connectivity right out of the box. And there's a misunderstanding on the market, should I use OPC UA or MQTT? And all these people have not understood that OPC UA and MQTT are not competing. Instead, the OPC Foundation loves MQTT because it is a great transport connector up into the IT and cloud world. But MQTT, on the other hand, is payload agnostic protocol, which means there is no definition of the message. And you see here two examples. It's the same context, but in a different way transported over MQTT. And this is what we like to avoid, because it is higher engineering and organizational efforts. And this is what nobody wants. And this is why we believe the solution is OPC UA pops up over MQTT. Here you see that we exactly had a demo wall with live demonstrators, including Beckhoff, Siemens as controllers, and Microsoft Azure as a cloud vendor. But we have major commitments, and this is what you see on the logos on the demo wall, from AWS, Google Cloud, IBM, Microsoft Azure, MindSphere, and SAP. It's the who is who of the cloud providers, with a public commitment saying either we have this technology already implemented, OPC UA over MQTT, or it's on our technical roadmap and we will see more early next year. And the same is with the OT companies and vendors. Once they have implemented OPC UA PubSub over UDP, I strongly believe they also will implement OPC UA over MQTT, either directly into the box or with a gateway. And you see that we have major toolkit vendors around the world, and so I'm really proud to say this is the largest ecosystem for cloud connectivity, which is supporting both standardized information over a standardized protocol with integrated security. This makes us proud. Looking forward on collaborations now. First of all, we are collaborating with so many partners in the world, and there are so many activities. I just mentioned 66 of them. Today, I just want to focus on 2 of them, and I marked them red. It is the Vdma, because I believe it's a key partner. 32 companion specifications from the 66 are driven by the Vdma. And so I can't highlight these activities enough, and you will see even more activities from them in a second. And also I like to address Spectaris this time, and I think you hear more on your OPC day, but I also love to address it shortly. First of all, why did the Vdma select OPC UA as a solution? Because they figured out that OPC UA is exactly addressing the requirements from the mechanical industry, like open source, built-in security. It is moving in standardized information on various protocols. Therefore, you can do semantic machine descriptions, and it scales as you have seen before. So OPC UA, being an IEC standard, is the perfect partner. It is unbelievable to see the efforts of the Vdma, with 13 groups being right now ramping up, with 21 under development and with 18 companion specs being released already. If you are in one of these industries, I highly recommend to become more familiar with the Vdma efforts. But the Vdma efforts are not only on the information models to describe the machines. They are also working one level higher on the cross-domain harmonized information models. And this is what I, again, can't emphasize enough. This is most important. OPC UA for machinery will be, next to OPC UA DI, device integration, the most important information model of the world, because it contains everything which is in common of all the Vdma information models. As you see here, OPC UA for machinery is the harmonized base of all of these companion specifications, but it also integrates identification of a machine, machine status and job management, and they are continuing to bring in power management and other important standards. If I would have to decide what kind of information model should I implement first, other than OPC UA DI anyway, I would start with OPC UA for machinery because it's the most popular one available in every machine coming to the market. Let's look on upcoming activities here with LADS. I'm super proud that we have a joint working group initiated by Spectaris about laboratory and analytical device standards, short LADS, as a joint working group. And as you see here, Spectaris, together with Vdma and OPC Foundation, have already found more friends in the world supporting this, and they have joined on same eye level to co-work and help on this companion specification. And it's a real pleasure for me to welcome here Vdma as the Japan Analytical Instrumentations Manufacturers Association. I highly appreciate and I hope that we see more Japanese standardization groups and user initiatives to join OPC Foundation joint working groups. Let's have a short update on marketing topics. We are really proud that also the ARC published a report this year that OPC UA is the most important interoperability enabler of the world. And it's even mentioned that this appears to extend this lead even further. And they are listing very precisely the reasons for this, as you can see here, the vendor independence, our standardization, the security, our scaling, but also addressing openness and accessibility. So all of this, including our collaboration with other associations, makes us really the interoperability enabler. Sometimes people don't know how easy it is to start with OPC UA. And this is exactly why we created a so-called OPC UA IIoT Starter Kit, which is available free of charge on our OPC GitHub repository. And it's exactly showing OPC UA over MQTT as a strong combination for cloud connectivity. To just mention here the efforts, to get everything up, you need less than 1 hour. To publish data, you need just 3 steps. To subscribe data on the other side of the communication chain, you also just need 3 steps. So it is really easy, and I'm just asking everybody, why not play around? You can just buy a Raspberry Pi. It's a super cheap platform, and play around with that. I'm here with my face again because this is really what I love to talk and tell you directly. We spent significant money for the OPC UA academic program, where we definitely want to support universities around the world. And we like to provide them free of charge material to learn about OPC UA, modeling capabilities, security, and so on. It is a slide deck with over 250 pages where we exactly tell professors you can copy and steal all content, graphics and text, so you don't start from scratch and you know it's validated and it's correct, reviewed by experts from the OPC Foundation. Status today, this material is in English, but I really think about why not make a Japanese translation out of that and provide it to Japanese universities? Because what I see is we need young, good educated people being aware of OPCUA and the strong modeling and security capabilities. So why not spend this money into education? I think OPC Foundation should spend that budget, but it's a topic for OPC Japan to organize a translation. And second, also here, I like to make you aware that the OPC Foundation published another ebook, the 4th edition, and this is all about content about OPC, our collaboration, success stories. It's done by partners, members, whoever who has an interesting topic. So again, 2 action items here and 2 invitations. Number 1, if you have interesting topics and you like to support and write an article, or you want to be part of our podcast series, please alert and contact me. All the podcasts are transcribed and then published in an article. And second, we have a lot of really great articles. Again, there's so much material. Why don't we provide translated articles? Again, I'm spending the budget, but it's another task here for OPC Japan to organize the translation. Good deal, huh? Yeah, during the OPC Day International, I was very proud because on the 3rd day we had end user reports. And you see here the logos from all these companies. And it was exciting that a lot of the audience really dialed in to listen from real world examples. No longer OPC Foundation is telling and advertising its good content. Instead, it was end users reporting about their experience. If you have also stories, please tell us and share the story with us. I'm super proud here. This would have been also published at the SPS show that the OPC Foundation published already 2 major cloud stories. One is with Equinor connected in the North Sea right now with up to 180,000 data points, but they are scaling up now to 1 million data points being connected to Microsoft Azure, everything based on OPCUA. But also what I like to mention here with Equinor, they're using a lot of information models, but whatever is missing, they defined on themselves, but they shared it with the world on GitHub as open source. So the world doesn't have to start from scratch. They can reuse what the smart people from Equinor have thought about already. And the second success story is about factory automation, where company Renault, as a car manufacturer, is connecting via OPCUA to Google Cloud. They have more than 3,300 assets, PLCs and other devices, and all of them are connected via OPCUA. They made over 300 billion messages via OPCUA, unbelievable, and you can download the success story from the OPC Foundation web. Again here, call for action. If you have a really nice success story, please let us know. We have dedicated experts helping to write nice articles out of this. Please help the world community to be aware of that. With this said, I'm at the end of my presentation. Hopefully it was some news for you. Obviously, again, for me, it's critically important that OPCUA is not seen only as the last mile to access the asset. It is important to understand that OPCUA is a framework scaling from field up to cloud and back. And this is what I addressed today in my presentation here. I know you have multiple more presentations also diving into details also with LADS and others. So have a good day, enjoy the presentations at the OPC Day Japan, and hopefully we can see again soon in person. But more important than seeing in person is please stay healthy. Bye-bye.